Boom. I just can't help but give myself a drum roll. I love it. Hi, my girl. Good morning, Carmela. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We made it through another week. Go figure. All right. My dog is growling because, I don't know, there's somebody outside, so don't mind the outside stuff. Big Daddy in the building. Good morning, everybody. And today's show is almost all my shows combined. It's coffee, lunch, and sex talk all in the same time. That's why I started at 11:30, just in case we need a little bit more time, because I know how you guys are. So once we start talking about, especially if we start talking about sex, everybody gets all caught up and stuff. So you know how that goes. So thank you guys and good morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. Please do not forget, if you are on right now, make sure you hit that follow button, right? So you go to realtalkwithkarenstacy.podbean.com, hit the follow button and turn your alerts on, because I know, like so many of us, I don't even know what time it is. I don't know what day it is. So it's really helpful when you have those, alerts on, so that you're like, oh crap, Karen's on, cause you can't miss me. I mean, what's up with that? You don't want to do that, because you never know what I might be talking about, right? And I have to tell you that today's topic, I struggle with this. I'm not going to lie. The topic is, does age matter? So I want to hear what you guys have to say as we go into this. And do me a favor, share this out on your social media pages and stuff so that people can jump in on the conversation. Because the more people that participate, the more fun this is. You know what I mean? So, I always like to hear people's opinions and so forth. And believe it or not, I get a lot of messages from people that tell me that I should do certain topics and such. So I try my best to to do that, because I don't know, I find it interesting and I love to hear people's perspectives, as do I think a lot of our listeners do, because a lot of people want me to do a show and then they say, I'm just curious what other people think of this. So, does age matter? Again, very open-ended question, as I always do, because there's always room for, well, it depends. And we all know that every question comes with a, well, it depends, right? So, I, pulled up some stuff on the internet because, again, I have kind of strong feelings about this myself, and I'm not on here to tell you what my opinions are. I'm here to discuss all opinions and to be open-minded about things. So I'm seeing, like, for instance, if you do a search, it says, so does age matter? So it says chronological age might tick upward, but people's perceived age and felt age might matter more for the success of a relationship. Partners with significant age gaps might be better matched in terms of their shared interests, vitality, energy, and health than many same-aged people or couples. So that's pretty interesting, right? Because it is very true, right? Do we know people that are like 20 years old and they act like they're 40? And do we know like 40-year-old people that act like they're 20? So the funny thing about that is that it's more acceptable for a 20-year-old to act like a 40-year-old than a 40-year-old to act like a 20-year-old, right? Because when a 40-year-old is acting like a 20-year-old, what are we saying? They're immature, right? So how are you going to have, and again, I guess it depends on, your, intellect, your maturity, your experience, right? I mean, these are all things, in my opinion, that make a difference. So Big Daddy said, age don't matter to me. It's just a number. So I have to say that I don't feel that way. Oh, see, now I rather an older woman. Okay. So, I don't know. I don't feel that age is just a number. I feel that age is huge. Because, your age, well, okay, let me back that up, right? Normally your age, has to do with, how old you are, your experiences and such. Now, that being said, there are a lot of 20-year-olds that can experience a lot more than any 50-year-old ever did, right? But they still don't have the real true life experience, right? So I was trying to explain this to my son. We were talking about something and, there was somebody that made how people make comments or they do something and, you never know quite how to react, right? Like, especially when it's in person, because you don't have the delay of, let's say, a text message or an email where you can actually think, right? So when you're in real life and something happens, there's, you have to react, or there's a knee-jerk reaction. So I tried to explain to him, don't always jump at somebody or something. Take that, we talked about this on a couple of shows, right? The 3-second rule applies for a lot of things. Take a second and think before you react. So he goes, well, Ma, how do you do that? I go, I don't know. I'm still learning, and I'm 51. Geez, I'm going to be 52 next week. And so I say, I don't know. I'm still trying to learn that myself. But what I have learned is that taking that 3-second, pause will help. So the point to this is that what it is it's with age comes wisdom and experience, and you can't get wisdom and experience without experiencing. I mean, I was an old soul when I was growing up. I was always like older than what I really, was, because of my maturity level. But my experiences, I thought, because other people shared their experiences with me, that I understood it better, which indeed I did, but I never experienced it, right? So somebody could tell you not to go into that brick wall, but you're still going to go into the brick wall. And once you do is when you maybe, I emphasize maybe, learn not to hit the brick wall, right? So in my opinion, age matters a lot because you've been through things, you've experienced more things, and you are either more accepting or less accepting, right? I mean, is anybody on here agreeing with me on this? I know age is supposed to just be a number, but I don't really think that that's true. You look fabulous for 51. I would tap that. Oh my God, I can't with you. Thank you. Well, yeah, almost 52. So, I mean, I got what's today? Friday. So I got a week and change, before that happens. But yeah, I mean, I would say that, so this is where my issue lies, right? So I have people that have birthday sex. Yeah, huh? Sorry, I had to take a sip of water on that one. Did somebody say sex? Yeah. So, when people approached me and they talked to me about this cougar stuff, and, I have a lot of men that I know that are my age and they're interested in younger women. And, I kind of always just shake I scratch my head a little bit, because I'm like, I'm trying to see where it all coordinates, if you will. Let me see. Sean, first of all, thank you for joining us. True. Like when someone tells you that a finger in the bum feels good, but you try it and it's not your thing. Wisdom. All right. Well, I didn't quite expect that response, but I guess so. I mean, it's all about experience. And that's why, young and naive works out well sometimes, which maybe that's why there are men or women that prefer to date or have sex with younger partners, because perhaps they will be more apt to try something, new, right? Because a lot, they say, well, you can't teach old dogs new tricks, which I absolutely do not agree with. But it's true. If somebody is younger and inexperienced, maybe they'll do more things, right? But for that matter, maybe some of us that are a little older and more experienced will be like, go for it. Yeah. I like it. Or I never tried that before. So, give me another drink and let's figure it out. No, I'm only kidding. But I think that the good thing about being older, like it's kind of like there's no middle ground, right? So when you're younger, you're wet behind the ears, and let's face it, everybody that's in their 20s and 30s, they know everything, don't they? Oh, and forget about if they're a teenager, right? Because your parents are stupid. So everybody, that's younger knows everything. And the minute you try to talk to them about something, they already, have the answers, right? So that's, troublesome. Then you have somebody that, is 50 or 60 years old, and they probably do know a lot more, right? So it's either like, I know for me personally, I try to live by the standard of, I've been trying it this way and it hasn't quite worked out. So how about I try something new? So I'm not one of those people that won't try things. I will try something, but at the same token, it's like, even like food. Like somebody's like, here, try this. Normally I'll try anything, but if I look at it and I want to throw up in my mouth, I'm not doing it. I don't care what you tell me, I can't do it. So it's the same thing. Like if somebody tells me, I think you should hang upside down from, this sex swing, and I'm looking at it and I'm getting seasick just seeing myself upside down on that thing. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that, So it's not, that I'm not open-minded. I just know that I'm going to throw up, which would probably defeat the whole purpose of the upside down swing thing. You know what I'm saying? I can't. You see, the mind, my mind is a crazy place to be. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. We're doing coffee talk, lunch talk, and sex talk all in the same hour because we are talking about, does age matter? And again, a lot of the responses that I've gotten is no, age is just a number. So I am just trying to understand the validity to that statement, because how can age just be a number when life happens? So, I'm getting input from you guys. For those of you that are live right now, please give me your input. Meaning, and easy with that one, meaning I would like to know, if you feel that age matters. Hey, Gina, good morning. Thanks for making it. My kids think they know everything for sure. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just seeing what you guys think. So I think that, again, I was reading stuff on the internet, and I found it interesting. And it also says, okay, so let me just go into what they say here. We always love to talk about sex. Well, it's, sex sells, kids. So it says, why does age matter in a relationship? Age brings a lot of self-awareness in a person. As you grow old, you get to understand what you seek in a partner or a relationship. Most importantly, you get to know yourself better as a person. So, I think that, that is true. And that pretty much, validates what I've been saying. So then another thing says, I Googled all this. Studies have found partners with more than a 10-year gap in age experience social disapproval. But when it comes to our own relationships, both men and women prefer someone their own age, but are open to somebody 10 to 15 years their senior or junior. Now, as I was researching some of this, because I don't even know if one of the people that wanted me to talk about the cougar situation, I don't even know if they're here right now. A lot of people lurk in the background because, they don't want to come forward. But, this whole, this cougar thing, it's, I don't even know what to do with it, to be quite honest with you. And that's why I really wished that I had somebody like this person that had expressed to me that they wanted me to do the show about cougars because apparently, they were fond of them. They're like, well, what's your opinion on it? And, well, what do your friends say? So first of all, I don't have any friends. Second of all, I don't really, anybody that I know, I mean, I've known maybe one person that used to date younger, guys. I don't really, I can't say in my Rolodex that I know, but the funny thing was there's a friend of mine that I was discussing this with said to me, why the word cougar? So can anybody answer that question? Why do they use the word cougar for a woman that goes out with a younger man? Anybody know the answer to that? Do 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 do. Clearly I'm in a mood today. Yeah, so no response from the peanut gallery. So to my understanding, the word cougar, it's the animal, it's like the pounce, it's going for prey. So like the connotation to a cougar is like, like a woman that's like pouncing, if you will, taking advantage of, right? Which I don't know if that's the right thing to say, right? Because just because somebody is younger than you doesn't mean you're taking advantage of them, right? I don't know. Does it? I mean, to some degree, like we just spoke about, right? Age doesn't matter. But so they're saying if a person is older, they can take advantage of a younger, more inexperienced or naive, cub, right? So again, I need some help in this situation. And if anybody here is listening, I need some help because I am not sure I get the appeal to it. Hold on. I used to have a cougar car. Yeah, not the same thing. I don't think you took advantage. Well, you probably did take advantage of your car. So yeah, the question is, I mean, so as far as if you look it up, the whole, younger, let's not even call it a cougar, right? Sex with a younger partner. So let's go on the older woman, younger man thing. So younger men, are usually like prime in it, like, between like 20 and 30-ish, right? And women are prime in it like 30, 40-ish. So if a woman, I mean, this is God's way, right? Let's just, mess them up and, make the guys, like horn dogs. And then they're dating younger girls who don't even know where the como se llama is. And, it's a funny thing, right? So now you have, women that are a little bit older And then you have men that are a little bit younger. So now that's kind of like a good sexual match, right? So for sex, maybe that works. But what about the intellect part? Because maybe this is why they use the word cougar, because if the only thing you're looking for is sex, then I guess, I mean, again, I don't know because I don't have sex, I really don't have sex with younger men. So I don't know. So Sean, are we talking about a hookup or a relationship? Exactly. So I'm talking about all of it. So I'm trying to break it down right now. So if we're talking about sex, right, then, some women, and I guess with the cougar thing, they, want to take control, right? And so, they will, I guess, teach the youngin what to do to satisfy them sexually. I don't know. I think the thing is that there are a lot of women that have the mentality that as long as the Pishka deal is working, I'll work it and I'll, take care of myself. But I don't know, me personally, I don't like when people don't know what the hell they're doing. So to me, like, I think that there's enough bad sex going on, period. And I think that, a lot of people think they're better in bed than they actually are. And, so personally, I don't want to waste my time, because if they're young and they're fiddling around, then, really, like, okay, I gotta go. Thanks. Bye-bye. But, if they know what they're doing, then maybe. And again, I don't have experience in this, so I can't speak from experience because, I have not done that. I've never dated younger than myself, at least, for the decades I can recall. So I don't have anything to say about that. And again, I wish there were some women on here that were banging some younger guys so I could get like a little bit of a thing. So Sean, you said, are we talking about just a hookup or a relationship? So let's say right now we're talking about a hookup. We're talking about straight up sex. What does age matter there? Yes or no? All right. Everybody listening right now, just sex. Does age matter when having sex? Yes or no? Should I do the waiting thing again? Or do you want me to sing? Age don't matter. Okay, Big Daddy, you keep saying that. Age don't matter for sex, not at all. Okay, so far we're getting no. No, age does not matter. Very interesting. Hit and run. Yeah, well, I guess so. See, and that's what happens with a guy, right? You can hit and run. Sean, I want to know your answer. Don't give me an LOL. I want to know. Sex, hookup. Does age matter? Honestly, if it's a younger dude for me, they may teach me things. Yeah, well, the premise behind that is that they won't, right? I mean, and again, I'm all for learning new things as well. But the premise behind it, if you have a cougar, she's pouncing on the cub. I guess the rationale behind that is that they know what they want and they're going to get what they want. I don't know. She can run after you if she can't run after you if she's old. Oh my God, I can't. Age doesn't matter for sex. Booty call is just for fun. Okay. I would say that. I can understand that. But here's my question. And I know like you guys, I don't know what you're going to think about this, but listen, as I said, I'm 51. I'm going to be 52, next week. Right. And now I think I take pretty good care of myself. I try to, look my best, but let's face it. If you're not having plastic surgery or anything like that, things are definitely not located in the same positions that they used to be. So, I don't know if I'm with a guy, like I said, that let's say he's 30 or even 40, and he's been sleeping with 30-year-old, 20-year-old, 30-year-old women, or girls, right? you can't, I am not an insecure person. I know what I come with. But what I mean is that, I was talking to our friends of mine months ago and I was like, I keep trying to get, those cuts in my stomach, but there's that one area. And he's like, yeah, well, when you get older, it kind of like, it's really hard to get rid of those things, right? Because of, collagen production, this, that, and the other. So, I don't know if maybe I don't own it enough, that I would be comfortable having sex with somebody, younger than me, because, I don't, like I would be thinking, they would be thinking, damn, she's fucking old. These are the things that go through my head. What's wrong with me? And again, I'm not an insecure person, but if I'm 52 almost and I'm with a guy that's my age or older, and you're worried. At this point, if you're with somebody 52 or older, just the fact that the goddamn Pishka deal works, you're in good shape. But, you're in a different situation, right? Because when you're older, and you get into a certain position, all of a sudden you get a fucking cramp. You're like, oh, wait, I got a cramp. Or, you're on your knees and it's like, all right, I got to move. My knees hurt. I don't remember complaining that my knees hurt or getting a cramp at freaking 20 or 30 years old. But I'm just saying, it's different, and God bless those women. That are like, yeah, baby, I'm all about it. I watched one of these stupid, I don't know if it's a reality TV show. I don't know what it is, but I watched this show and it's like a cougar show. So the lady is like 90. And I kid you not, it was her 90th birthday. And, somebody's trying to call in. I don't know who you are. EZKBHF. I don't know who that is. So, if I don't know who you are, I'm sorry, but I need to know why you want to call in. So I'm watching this, and then there's a woman that's like my age, and she's dating like a 20-something youngin', right? And like she goes to a bar with him. She's half naked. Like all of her, like his friends are looking at her like, what the hell is she doing? She's like, I'm a rock and roll girl. Now I consider myself a rock and roll girl too, but I don't walk around with everything hanging out. So she had like literally like almost like a bra on and like these like, and like a motorcycle jacket. Her whole stomach was out, and like boots or whatever. Even if she was 20 something years old, I don't know. It's not quite the most appropriate thing, but when you're 50 something, seriously, and then she goes and gets up on the stage with the band, like, hello. And then she goes to the parents. So then he says that he wants her to meet his parents. God only knows why. She goes to the parents' house and she will not like dress accordingly. She's like there kind of like, this is my little, sex puppet or whatever. But then she's acting like she wants a relationship with him. And the mother is like, how old is your son? So the guy she's dating is younger than her own son. First of all, I'm throwing up right there. If you're dating somebody younger than your own kid, I'm throwing up. I'm sorry. I can't do it. And then but tone it down. Like to me, that's somebody trying to prove something. If you're just organically doing your thing and you just happen to like younger men, because the older guys can't keep it up, can't get it up, can't whatever, it's all good. But don't if you gotta be out there, like shoving it out there like that. I don't know. There's something to be said for that. All right. Let me see. I see your comments. Sure, and that's okay. Horny is horny. If a guy goes more than a few days dry, we will bang fruit, furniture, socks, any pour in the storm. Oh my. Okay. Well, I was not aware of that, but, okay. Oh, that's it. That was the only, so for you guys that are just joining us, welcome. This is like an all-inclusive show. It's coffee talk, so you could be like drinking some coffee. It's lunch talk, you could be eating, and it's sex talk, so you could be, I don't know whating, but maybe having a cocktail. Throw throw some cognac or some anisette in your coffee. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and for people that want to call in, I'm all for that, but I got to know who you are before I let you on, because, you could not behave, and then that's going to be a problem. So for you, those of you that are just tuning in, remember, if you're catching it on the replay on any of your favorite podcast stations or platforms, it's Real Talk with KarenStacy.podbean.com. If you hit that follow button, you will know that we are doing a live show, and it will alert you, and you can comment during the live show. So now I've been talking about the cougar thing, which again, I don't know if the person that wanted me to discuss this is even here, because I'm not seeing any comments. But now I want to flip it, and I want to talk about men, older men with younger women. Let's talk about that for a minute. Older men with younger women. What do we think about that? What do we think about, a 50-year-old that's a 50-year-old man that's with a 30-year-old woman? I mean, as an example. What do we think about that? Kudos to that guy. See, now that's so interesting, right? So it's like a status thing, right? So if you're an older person and you're dating a younger person, like you're like a stud or a cougar, right? That's how that goes. Like and I find that very interesting. But isn't there a fine line between being a stud and being a cougar and being like a freaking pedophile? I mean, seriously speaking. I mean, sometimes, I don't know, I think, even, God forgive me to say this, right? I mean, look, my father is 78, he's going to be 79. And, I see, if we're places, he's always kind of eyeballed my friends or wherever we are. And I'm like looking at him like, if you open up your mouth, and sometimes he has a couple of drinks in him and he'll make a comment and I shoot him such a look, because I'm like, seriously? But this is how it is, right? People are attracted and, but I find it creepy. When someone is young enough to be your child, I find that creepy. So, or even younger. Trying to figure out how to bring our other people in. I'm not sure. Tell them all to get their asses over here. Mr. A in the building. Yeah. So what do we think about that? Do we think that younger? So I had somebody that I spoke to, and again, good morning, Orlando. I have friends of mine that, are men, always the men, right? And, they are in my age range and they want to date younger women. So one of them I saw at an event, and it was from across the room. And later on, when I spoke to, the person that was hosting the event, and I was like, oh, so-and-so brought their daughter, and they started laughing. And they're like, that's not their daughter. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So, I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay. So I didn't understand. So this particular person that was speaking with me, and I said, I want to do a show on age. So I need to do some research. So explain to me the appeal of the younger woman. Why do you want to date a younger woman? Because I have, somebody, like I said, that's my age, and they're talking about wanting to date somebody, 20 years younger than them. And I go, you got a fucking fresh head. 20 years, really? What do you have in common with a 30-year-old? So that conversation went a certain way. Then when we spoke again, I said, well, the conversation came up again, and I said, I'm trying to kind of understand this because I want to do a show about it. And they said to me, I think that older men with younger girls can be disgusting. It's a matter of this person was saying the reason why I am looking into, or I want to date somebody younger, is because I don't have children. And I want someone that wants and can have children and doesn't have children. So that the plot thickens, right? It changes when that becomes the, the focus, right? So now, do you have a 30-year-old woman, and there are a lot of 30-year-old women that want to have children, and maybe, the 30-year-old men that they're dating, are children, right? So maybe they're not getting what they need from that 30-year-old man that's their age, if you will. So now this 50-year-old man comes with hopefully stability, right? So this 50-year-old man probably has a career and a job, we hope, probably has money in the bank and, is an accredited human, we hope. So now when you're 30 and you're trying to date, and I do hear this from a lot of younger people, that dating, listen, no matter what age, dating is like, it's just a cesspool. So when you have a woman that's 30 years old and she's interested in a real relationship, not friends with benefits, not hookups, but wants to have a family and a child, then maybe meeting that 50-year-old man is going to enable that. The question is, what happens 20 years later? What happens when you're, or even 30, even 10 years later, right? So when the woman is in her prime and now the guy can't get it up without a freaking blue pill. So this is where, you wonder if these things, if the relationship will remain compatible. But it makes sense to me when you look at it that way, right? Because when you look at it that way, that's a common goal. So if you guys tuned in last Friday when I had Jonathan on, who's a dating coach, he was saying how having, the same interests, likes, dislikes, et cetera, and spending time together. So I guess it's, it is very different. I mean, when it comes to sex, I guess nothing really matters, right? It really doesn't. I mean, I don't know how, when I was telling you about the guy that was watching that was on that show, I'm not sure how I think he was, I don't even know how old he was, to be honest with you. I don't remember, but maybe he was 40, 50 years old. Okay. And he was with a 90-year-old woman. Now, don't get me wrong. This 90-year-old woman looked amazing, but she was still 90. Okay. So you have to say, he's doing this. She must be loaded. I mean, that only makes sense, right? I mean, when you look at Hugh Hefner, well, I don't, you can't look at him right now, but when you would look at Hugh Hefner and he was 800 years old and had to go to sleep at 8:00 at night, and he had, all these girls living under his roof that I guess they took turns as to, who was handing him the Viagra, I used to throw up in my mouth because basically you're prostituting yourself, right? All right, he's going to last for 8 minutes. So, I just got to get this over and done with. And, I'm a Playboy bunny and I'm going to have my own show. Right. So again, I guess whatever works for you. I don't, I'm not putting anybody down. I think do what you got to do. Everybody does what works for them. But soft food, early dinner, naps, and it's lovely. Yeah. So yeah, I think that my personal opinion is, and I didn't want to go with my personal opinion. I wanted you guys' opinion, but I'm not getting much out of you today. My personal opinion is that age matters. And the reason why I think age matters is because, on the norm, you need somebody to match you. So I've always been very mature for my age and such. So I never dated younger men. I always dated older men. I could have been the girl that was 30 and dating, a 50-year-old, except I didn't find a 50-year-old attractive because to me, he was old. You know what I'm trying to say? And even, when I first, after my husband died and I was trying to date or whatever, and God, how old was I when he died? I was 43. And so like there were, like an older man, like he was almost 60. And I just like, I just can't do it. Like to me, it's like dating an old man. Now again, I am not taking away from anyone or anything. I'm talking about me and my own personal thing. And there are certain men, I know 57-year-old guys that are, in shape and that are young at heart and, yada, yada. But, some people have that look, you know what I'm saying? Where they look their age. And, when you're 30 years old, I don't, I was 43. I just wasn't attracted to that. But then when I tried to lower, like I was like, all right, I'm not doing the 60-year-old. So then I'm like, all right, maybe I should go like 35 and see what happens, right? And then and then they're coming at you like they want that older woman thing, like the Mrs. Robinson thing. I'm not Mrs. Robinson, okay? I don't want to teach you shit. I want you to come already done. I have a son that I have to teach things to. I don't want to teach you shit. I want you to come out of the box fully assembled. If you need help finding the spot or knowing what I like and I don't like, I'm all for that. But I don't have any desire to mold someone into my little sex toy. Although, you know what? It's a good way to look at things and maybe I should change my perspective. But no, I'm just saying, maybe if I'm still single, years down the road, maybe I'll change. And maybe I will do that. But I don't know. I just feel I'm very old school and, this is just me. I'm old school. I want the man to be the man. I want the man to be, alpha. That's just who I am. So I don't have those needs to dominate somebody like that because, I'm dominant enough. I'm alpha enough and I don't really need to do that. So that's just my own personal feelings. But I read some, articles and blogs, and there's a woman that like came into her own. She started dating guys much younger and it was just for sex. And she has a couple of different partners and she does like these dress up things and she does all these different things. She goes to like these sex, clubs and all of that. And you know what? More power to you. Like and that's all she wanted. She didn't want a relationship. She just wanted like, what would you call it? Like a sexual Rolodex, right? So that she had people that were, she had whatever it was, whatever partner she had. And I think she went both ways. And, and that satisfied what she wanted. She was very happy doing her own thing without having to answer to anybody. And I guess that's kind of not, does she have a Facebook? You know what? I came across, I told you, I started to do a little bit of research for this because honestly, as you can tell, my opinions are pretty, set in this. Not to say that I don't look at things from all angles. I like to hear things from different angles. But my personal experience, like I said, if you have somebody that's going through something, let's just say for argument's sake, your partner, was diagnosed with, cancer, God forbid, right? And so now you have to, help this person navigate through this. When you're 30 years old, like you don't have the experience, the patience, maybe, I don't know. I've always been this way. So maybe I would, but I would probably be less of a support system and more of a worry, system because I would be, I wouldn't have the experience of, age and wisdom to work through that. So I guess, again, it really does depend. When it comes to sex, again, I do think age matters, but I can understand if the sex doesn't mean anything to you, that it doesn't matter. Again, I do find it creepy an older woman dating or fucking a younger guy, that's the same age as her child. I think an older guy that's dating or fucking somebody that's the same age as his daughter. Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know, I'm thrown up. I can't help it. I just am. And that's just my opinion. So nobody here is giving me another opinion. I want to know, is there a too young or too old thing? Like, is there like a rule that I don't know about? Like, okay, if the girl is 20, the guy can't be older than 40. Like, Carmela, he was joking around because I was talking about the woman that was having sex with these multiple partners and didn't want to have any kind of a relationship. So he asked if she had a Facebook page. That's what she was saying. But Carmela, thank you. Yes, she thought you were trying to follow me. That's funny. But yes, that was in pertain to that particular thing that we were talking about. So yeah, I guess you could say that. So, I mean, the moral of the story is everybody I say does age matter. A lot of you say, no, it's just a number. Again, I see you's on here. Could I get some feedback? All right. So today's show, first of all, hello and welcome to anybody that is just joining in. You are listening to Coffee Talk, Lunch Talk, and Sex Talk all in the same hour. And if you are catching this on the replay on your favorite podcast platform, do not forget to go to realtalkwithkarenstacy.podbean.com, download the free app, hit the follow button so that if you want to participate in the show, you can. It's all good, Carmela. I love you. So the moral of the story for, whoever wants to listen to me or answer me is that I did see a lot of people. I posted this on my social media pages, and it was funny because people said no, but then said it depends. So it can't be one or the other. If it depends, then the answer is yes. Age matters. If it depends, the answer is yes. So, it's just, and it's awareness too. So like I said, when I spoke to my friend that, at first I kind of was like, I told you, I was like, you got a fresh head, you want these younger girls, like, you need somebody that's on your level, and so then when I understood it better, it wasn't that like he wasn't attracted to women his age. It was just that he wasn't going to get what he wanted from women his age. So that goes back to the whole premise of maybe dating differently age-wise, because if you're not getting what you want, then you have to move. Like I said, when I was trying the dating apps and stuff, and I was, the older ones weren't doing it for me. Then I was like, all right, let me try the younger ones. The younger ones weren't doing it for me. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then of course, that's a wrap. But, I think that there's a lot to be said for, staying in your lane, so to speak. But somebody younger can definitely bring a breath of fresh air. Like I said, I was reading stuff online, and if you guys have the same interest, I know there are just a lot of men that tell me they are just attracted to older women. They are turned off by a 30-year-old. They're turned off by younger women, which I'm like, really? And so again, it's just preference. As I was reading in my research, it also said that once you hit 50, that most people do not want to date within their age. They want to go younger. So the older you get, the more, the younger you want your mate or partner or whatever you want to call it to be. So I look at it the same way, whether it's a male-female relationship or friendship. For me to be friends with a 30-year-old when I'm, 51, we don't have the same life experience. We don't have a lot of the same things in common. So if she's experiencing something, I can help her through that, but I'm going to help her through that more like a mother, not like a friend, if that makes sense, right? Because, again, that's a big age gap. If somebody is a couple of years younger than you, yes, you're in the same realm. But, we all know that the years in between can be huge. I mean, anything between 6 years or whatever, that's no big deal, right? You figure 6, 7 years, you're still in the same realm. Even 10, to be honest with you, depending on how old you are. If you're between 20 and 30, 10 years is huge. But if you're between 40 and 50 or 50 and 60, 10 years ain't nothing. That makes perfect sense. So I think that it is, there's a dynamic there. And I think that, like everything else in life, it just goes with what you like. I always say never. So I would never say I would never be with a younger guy. I would never say I would never be with an older guy, because you just don't know. Things happen, and sometimes it just clicks. And everything in life is about chemistry, right? Well, actually, it's not supposed to be, right? Jonathan told us that too. But it does end up, in my opinion, it has to do with chemistry. And I have to say, I had fun with Jonathan, because he is, so strong with his, convictions. For anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, on Friday, last Friday, a week ago, I had Jonathan Ashley on, who's a dating coach. And, he zinged me good a couple of times, but you know what? I was okay with it, because I like when somebody matches me. See, again, I don't think a younger guy can match me. So, I'm a tough cookie. So I can't use myself as an example, because I'm not your average bear. So I know I'm not the easiest to deal with. And so I don't know, maybe a younger guy could deal with me better. I can't say for sure, but it's the intellect, because if they navigate me, then forget about it. It's done anyway. So today we are talking about, does age matter? And again, my opinion is it does. So far, a lot of you are not saying that. So we have one person that likes older women. And then we have, I like men a little older than me. Okay, I'm in my 40s, love women my age, 50 and 60. So Orlando, help me out. Why do you like women 10 or 20 years older than you? You don't think that you're not turned off by a 60-year-old's body? Like, that's what I'm curious about. Like, she gets naked. Like, all right, I mean, if you're having sex in the dark, I guess it don't matter. But if you're having, like, if you're there and you're in the raw, so to speak, you're not looking at that 60-year-old and seeing the fact that, she's 60. Does that make sense? Okay, Orlando, talk to me, because that's my biggest question. And again, I'm pissed off that, are you here, my listener that was the cougar, that likes the older women? I don't know where everybody is. Everybody told me they were going to be here, and they're not. So with this, to discuss this, and I told everybody that this was not my field of expertise. So I want to bring a different perspective to it. And maybe I want somebody to bring me a different perspective. I want to know why you think that age doesn't matter. I want to know why you think that, dating somebody younger works. Okay, I see you. Hi guys, I see you. I see you're there, but I need input. God damn it. Uh-oh, I shouldn't say that. Sean, easy. We lost Big Daddy, I guess, so I'm safe to say it, right? You guys are crazy. So Orlando, my love, talk to me. Do you, at 40 years old, if you're having sex with a 60-year-old woman, do you see that she's 60? Like, that's not a turn off to you? What is the turn on? What is the appeal to the older woman? I want to know. Inquiring minds need to know, what is the sex appeal. What is the appeal for a younger woman? I need to know. I mean, seriously, what is it? I don't know. What is it? I would be horrified. Oh my God, she's going to take her clothes off. It turned me on. That's not enough, Orlando. Why? Depends their body. Okay. So, I bang everything that walks, but I only do hookups. You know what, Sean? So now are you like, obviously you're open with that, I'm assuming, right? So you're telling everybody, okay, so Sean, how old are you, Sean? Cause I need, I can't get into this until I know more. How old are you? I like Sean. Sean's at least answering me. 32. Oh, you're a baby. You see what I'm saying? That's how I think of you. You're a baby. Okay, so 32. What's the oldest? And I'm assuming you're a guy. You never know. Sean could, the way you have it spelled, it could be either way. So so what is the oldest, like that you've gone? Like, have you had sex with a 60-year-old? Like, I need to know these things. Yeah, of course. No, yes, of course. I'm sure they use protection. Obviously, we need to be responsible. We all know this, right? But hopefully. But yes, I mean, bang it around, but make sure that you suit it up. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I give a lot of power, like more power to you, to those people that are able to have multiple sex partners, because, I guess that's the way you're fulfilled, more power to you. Again, I think it's okay. Whatever works for you, works for you. My whole thing is that if you are banging around with a lot of people, or you have, let me just say, multiple partners, that at least, the other partners are aware that they are one of many and they don't think they're the only one. Right? And those are uncomfortable conversations. I stretch before and after. All right, Sean, you're answering Carmela. You're not answering me. I'm asking you, how old was like the oldest, romper room, romping session? How old? Sean's funny. I like you, Sean. This is what's so great about being on Podbean, is when you do a live show like this, that we're able to interact with one another. I love it. I think it's hysterical, and I love the input. We're missing Adrian today. Usually Adrian is on, he likes to call in from Iran. And that's always interesting. Sorry, I think she was early 40s. Okay, so that's not, you're 32. That's not really, that's within range. And at 42, everything is still where it needs to be. So talk to me when you're banging 50-year-olds. Then we'll have a different conversation. But right now, you're in the realm there. 32, 42, it's still okay. I think that works. But I know, Carmela, what could I tell you? I'm in a very silly mood, I think. But yeah, that's the deal with that. So in conclusion, I'm going to say, gotcha. Give me 30 minutes for an update. Off to the store. Oh my God, you're so funny. Well, Sean, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. It was fun having you. Don't forget to hit that follow button so you can join us again. We usually do shows Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesday is usually sex talk because it's hump day. And then Fridays, I usually talk about, whatever the hell I want to talk about. But I know I wasn't on this Wednesday, so I apologize. But that's why I gave you guys a little extra today, and we threw in a little bit of everything. We had some coffee talk, we had some lunch talk, we had some sex talk. We got a little bit of everything to get you through the weekend. So in conclusion, I'm going to say that age does matter. I think that it's nice that people are more open-minded, in the sense of saying age doesn't matter, but the stigmas are still there. A cougar is, to me, it's an insult. but a stud is a compliment, whatever. So, I just think that you should do what makes you happy. I think that society is going to judge you regardless. So, fuck them. And just do what you do, and what makes you happy, within reason. My only concern when there's a huge age difference is that there is true compatibility there, and it's not somebody is using somebody. And again, if you are using them, let them know that. Like if I got myself a little, 30-year-old that I was just, having sex with, he would know that he was my boy toy, and so there's no issue there. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a guy and you're with somebody and you're banging a little 30-year-old or 20-year-old, don't tell her that you love her and don't do all these things for her if all you're doing is looking to bang her. You know what I mean? So, this is where I'm at with that. And so I just think, again, people need to communicate what they want. And I think that, it doesn't matter what other people think. It's what you think. Do what works for you. And it was fun talking with you, Karen. Thank you for the show. Absolutely, Sean. It was fun. Make sure you hit that follow button so you can join us again. I always appreciate you guys chiming in. That's what makes it fun. If not, I'd just be talking to myself, which I can do very well, on my own. But, So anyway, I will see you guys. Hopefully we will be having sex talk on Wednesday. Sometimes life gets in the way, and I was needed on Wednesday, so I couldn't be here with you guys, but I'm here with you today, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to go to realtalkwithkarenstacy.podbean.com. Hit that follow button so you never miss a show, and your support is greatly appreciated. Hit those heart buttons on the show, comment, share it with your friends, tell everybody, I don't know, like that here. You know what I'm saying? So don't forget, tomorrow isn't promised. Don't be an asshole today. I love you guys so much. Thank you very much for tuning in today, and I will see you guys real soon. And a big shout out and thank you to Carmela for moderating and welcoming everybody.